Hey, Shalom, y'all. Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all the praises, the glory, and the honor to the Most High Yahweh. Do it so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. I also want to give double honors to all the elders and the brothers that's out here laboring in this word, in truth and in sincerity, doing everything to make it calling and election sure. Shalom to y'all and y'all families. I also want to say shalom to all the Akim, Wa'akwatham out here receiving, learning, believing, and keeping the faith. Shalom to y'all and y'all families as well. And Lord will, this lesson is edifying, for the hopeful elect in the nation of Israel, and the nation of Israel only. And Lord will, the calling of election be upon all y'all and y'all's households. So today's lesson we're going into, hey, it's a tough pill to swallow, but it just may not be profitable for you. And the inspiration for this lesson comes from this scripture in throughout the 37th chapter, as well as, things that I notice, within dealing with brothers and, in dealing with people in the world and also myself, So let's go ahead and get into it. This is Sirach 37 and 28, and Sirach and 28. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything. So all things ain't profitable for all men. And you know what? It's a tough pill to swallow. It just may not be profitable for you. Why do I say it's a tough pill to swallow? Because oftentimes in this truth, we can get in the mindset that, we heathen. We can get in the mindset that, hey, I'm an Israelite, I'm keeping the law, statutes, commandments to the best of my ability. I'm out here feeding the sheep, I'm doing the work. The Most High is dealing with me. You start to think that you ain't never gonna have to deal with no demons, man. And then the Most High will bring you down to a humble estate, bring you down to a lower state to humble you, to show that, yeah, you still just a man at the end of the day. And you have to be vigilant, and recognize, what's profitable for you and what's not profitable for you. Because like I said, it's a tough pill to swallow. Because you want to think that you're strong enough to be able to fight anything. But you know what? That's not reality. Reality is sometimes we're not strong enough to fight this battle, and we just need to remove ourselves from it completely. Sometimes we're not strong enough to keep enduring while still engaging in a certain activity. Sometimes we got to remove ourselves from that activity in order to increase our fight, in order to increase our endurance, man. Meaning what? That activity is not profitable for us, man. It's just not and that's okay, but it is a tough pill to swallow because it humanizes you. We're all human, but sometimes in this truth you can get in the mindset thinking that we already in the kingdom, man, in terms of our mindset. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the law, statutes, commandments on the inward parts yet. The Most High hasn't made us kings and priests yet. We don't have dominion and rulership yet. We're not perfect yet, and the kingdom will be perfect. We're not perfect yet, man. Right now, we're in training to be perfect. We're in training to get to have the blessing, which really is a blessing. Have the blessing of having the law, statutes, commandments being put in our inward parts, pursuant to Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, the 31st verse on down. And going into that new covenant. Also, Hebrews, the 8th chapter, that goes into that. We're in training for that, but we ain't got there yet, man. Meaning what? We still got to deal with the tumults, the demons. We still got to deal with the plagues of the mind, the afflictions. We still got to deal with, Satan trying to get in our mind, man. And sometimes he'll get in our mind to the point where we're engaged in a certain activity too much, and that leads us to the understanding that this activity ain't profitable for me. Because I can get taken under the power of that activity, it can have control over me, and that can cause me to do other things. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians, the 6th chapter. And this is something that every man goes through, man. None of us are above this, man. This is 1 Corinthians 6 and 12, but I'm going to go back up after reading this. This is 1 Corinthians 6 and 12. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. So all things are lawful, meaning what? All things are lawful, but all things are not expedient, meaning what? It may be within the confines of the law to do certain activities, man. But it may not be expedient for you. It may not be profitable for you. You engaged in a certain activity may cause you to commit all kinds of sin, man. But another brother may be able to engage in that activity and be perfectly fine. It doesn't throw him off the course, but that activity can throw you off the course. That's a tough pill to swallow because like I said, it humanizes us. It brings us to reality of self. That, hey, man, we just men. And all of us have the capability to be. All of us, or I'll say all of us, within all of our walks and whatnot. We all can be brought under the power of something if we allow it to happen. We're just in the flesh, as we know that. But it says, all things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Meaning what? It may be lawful for you to engage in certain activity, but if it brings you under the power of it, then it's not expedient for you. It's not profitable for you. Because when you're brought under the power of something, that means that person has control and dominion over you. So that means what? That thing has control and dominion over you. Meaning what? It'll cause you to go in any which way direction the Spirit guides you in, man. And that can have you fall out the truth. That can have you falling out the truth. Because you got under the power of it, meaning what? Hey, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say you're an idolater, because we all sin, we all fall short, and we are in the time of grace and repentance. But that was an act of idolatry. I'd rather say that's an act of idolatry. Because when something has the power over it, when something has that amount of power over you, to where you're moving and shaping your life based off of that paradigm, because that's the place the Most High is supposed to be in. The Most High moves and shapes our life, man. We're supposed to pattern our steps after the ways of righteousness according to the word of the Most High. Because maybe your body's just programmed in a way, maybe your spirit just wired in that way, where if you have an overstimulus of this right here, you can't stop it, man. And you got to keep getting more and more and more. Some of our bodies are wired in that way for certain activities, and that causes you to be brought under the power of that activity. That activity moves and shapes your life. You pattern your steps based off of that activity, or based off of that thought process, or that thing, or whatever it may be, And next thing you know, you're committing all kinds of idolatry and wickedness, man. Next thing you know, you got to get more and more and more, and you can't stop yourself, That activity or that trait or that thing is having power over your life, and that's causing you to not be in the spirit as much. That's causing you to be more in the flesh and not in the spirit. Which when that happens right there, now the patterns of your life are different. When that happens right there, now your life is is moving in an opposite direction that you wanted to move in. Because the spirit has to be the foundation in which we live on. Most High, communicating certain things to us and this and that nature through His word, and the Most High give you a sign and showing you things like that has to be the foundation in which we live on. But if certain fleshly activity or certain things you're doing that's lawful to do, but you're being brought into the power of it, that means you're being shaped, and your body and your whole spirit is being formed in a direction that takes you opposite of what the intentional path that you want to walk in, that being righteousness. So it's very, very important that we recognize that, we're cognizant of that, because we don't want to be brought in the power of anything that's going to be destroyed, man. As the scripture said, we use the world, we don't abuse the world, because the fashion of this world passeth away. So anything that's going to pass away, we don't want to be brought under the power of that, man, because you know what? If we're patterning our life based off of that as well, and we're becoming one with that, we're going to pass away as well. We're not going to make it to the kingdom. And the scriptures also say, First Peter, the 5th chapter, the devil as a roaring lion walking about seeking. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get it right here, man. Let's go ahead and get that. It's 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. It says, be sober and be vigilant. So, being sober minded, being vigilant and being vigilant, that pretty much just goes into, being careful, man. Being careful, being mindful, being cognizant of your surroundings. But you know what, man? It's easier to be vigilant and about the world at large. It's easier to be vigilant about, the wickedness in this world, man. Or this, like I said, the world at large, because we know the world lies in wickedness, man. We know most people of the world live according to the credos of this world, that do what thou wilt, credo of this world, man. You know what I'm saying? We know that most people operate with that mental frame, So it's easier to see that, you know what I'm saying? It's easier to be cognizant of that and stray and remove ourselves from potential dangers being caused by that for ourselves. But it's a lot harder to be vigilant about self, because then you have to accept imperfections about yourself, man. You got to truly be humble. You got to accept that you're just a man. You know, you have to look within, which is tough for a lot of people. You got to look within, analyze your situation, accept some harsh truths, and be willing to make that adjustment. Be willing to change. Be willing to look within, get to the root cause, see why certain things are happening for you, why certain things are causing you to stumble and causing you to fall. You know, make a change within that. You know, attack it, make a change, and you know what? Through making that change, you may come to realize that certain actions you just can't do them anymore. You got to cut it off completely, or you got to cut it off for a temporary period of time. But sometimes it maybe you got to cut it off completely, because you can't engage in this and maintain balance. You'll get caught under the power of that. That's what happens when you self-examine and you self-analyze. That's what happens when you're vigilant about self, which is why it's a lot harder to be vigilant about self than it is about outside factors. You know, because you have to accept that, hey, I'm just a man. You got to accept that, hey, I can be brought under the power of things just like anybody else, man. You know, even being a man of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, I can be brought under the wiles of the devil. I can be brought under the whims of Satan. You know, that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. And sometimes it may be through certain activities you may like to do. The devil and Satan operate close to home, man. You know, things that you enjoy doing. Man, Satan knows the things you enjoy doing. That's why he attacks that right there, man. He tries to get you warped up in the power of that. Now, some brothers can maintain balance in certain areas of life. Some brothers can't. And and what that is, that's between you and the Most High, ultimately. You gotta examine that yourself. You know? But being vigilant within self is so key. You know? Let's go to the book of Proverbs. And like I said, it's a tough pill to swallow, because sometimes you may actually enjoy doing a certain activity that you say, you know what, I can't do this no more. I get caught up in the power of it too much. You know, this has too much of a hold over my life. You know, I can't be in the spirit and engage in this fleshly activity at the same time. You know, it's a tough pill to swallow, but sometimes it's a necessary pill to swallow, because it's gonna increase, you know, you in walking in that spiritual pathway you need to walk in, that straight gate you need to walk in order to reach the end goal, man. Matter of fact, let's get the book of Titus, the 3rd chapter, real quick. This is Titus chapter 3 and verse 8. This is a faithful saying, and these things I will that thou affirm constantly, that they which have believed in the Most High might be careful to maintain good works. These things are good and profitable unto men. So the good works, it's always going to be profitable, man. So when it goes into things that aren't profitable, that's not talking about staying in the spirit, showing what there's nothing wrong with doing certain things of the flesh, but the things of the flesh don't even compare to traits of the spirit. Traits of the spirit always reign supreme. Those are those good works. That's that righteousness. That's feeding the lambs and the sheep. That's keeping the law, statutes, commandments. That's living according to the fruits of the spirit. You know, that's keeping the faith. All of that are good, profitable works of the spirit. Giving alms, charity, you know, things of that nature. That's all good and profitable works of the spirit, man. That can never steer you wrong. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we got to maintain balance in everything, so I can't say that. But good, profitable works is always good, man. You know what I'm saying? Those are always profitable for you, you know. But then certain things of the flesh, they may be profitable, but they may not be profitable. And you got to accept when something just isn't profitable for you, so that you can make the necessary change and adjustment to keep doing more profitable works of the spirit. Because if you keep going down that pathway of engaging in unprofitable you know, things in the flesh, you know, then that's gonna completely overtake everything of the spirit. But you're not even gonna do no more spiritual works no more, because you're gonna be completely barred in and brought under the power of said activity in the flesh. You know, those two can't exist in the same body. You can't be all in on the spirit and all in on the flesh. You gotta maintain a healthy balance of both. You know, with of course the spirit reigning supreme in all of it. That's why it says, you know, that might be careful to maintain good works. These things are good and profitable unto men. You know, being in the spirit profits you, man. Doing the works, for doing reading the scriptures, you know, feeding the lambs and the sheep, talking in righteousness amongst brothers, always communicating with brothers in righteousness. You know, just putting on more traits and more fruits of the spirit instead of fruits of the flesh. You know, that keeps you in the spirit. That keeps you performing more and more and more righteousness, man. You know. But if you're always, and so it works the same way within the flesh. If you're always doing things of the flesh, especially things that aren't profitable for you, and you're brought under the power of said activity, you're going to keep doing that more and more and more to the point where you are at the point of no return, you know, and you follow the truth. It is what it is. Let's go to Proverbs, the 27th chapter. It's Proverbs 27:5. Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. The full soul loatheth and honeycomb, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. So, you know, it says the full soul loatheth and honeycomb, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. When you go into that word loatheth, it goes into to feel disgust for, to abhor, you know, to hate. You know, that full soul, you know, when you think you got it all, man. You think you don't need no rebuke. You think you don't need no chastisement, man. You think everything is profitable for you, man. You don't want to accept that bitter, hard truth, that tough pill, that some things just may not be profitable for you, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna loathe that honeycomb, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna loathe that righteousness, because it's akin to righteousness, man. You know? That knowledge and understanding, that sweet knowledge and understanding, man. But to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. A person that's hungry for righteousness, a person that thirsted for righteousness, you know what I'm saying, that wants to gain more understanding, accepts that that there is bitter within the sweet, and it's okay with that, and it's okay to, if you got to get rid of it, if you accepting the bitter. If you got to get rid of some things in your life, if some things aren't profitable for you, even though they're not lawful, if they're not profitable for you to stay in the spirit, then you got to get rid of it, man. You know, you got to get rid of it. You got to get that out of your life, man. Or you got to put a temporary hold on it, man. Whatever it is for you, that's between you and the Most High. You know, what you need to do. Every man is different. You know, some men you may have to cut it off completely. And never, ever do it again. Some men you can engage here and there after a temporary hold. It depends on you. That's up to you, man. You know, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. You know, there's a balance in that, man. You accept the good with the bad. You accept that you know, realizing what the bad is assists you when you're good. You know. Accepting what the bad helps you realize, okay, this is the root of the problem. This is the root of the issue. What do I need to do to alleviate myself of engaging this over and over and over again? You know what I'm saying? What are some things, necessary adjustments and change I need to make in my life, you know, that will assist me in being more in the spirit? You know? Going back to that despise not the chastisement of the Lord. And sometimes the chastisement of the Lord may come in the form of you having to give up something of the flesh that you like doing, that's not unlawful, that you like doing, because it's not profitable for you. Because your spirit just can't handle it, man. Some brothers just can't handle certain things. Some brothers, they get something, they want more and more stimulus of that over and over and over again, and they can't stop it, man. That's a bitter thing to accept, you know, because it, like I said, it humanizes you, immortalizes you, you know. But it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's a necessary one. You know, because that's gonna, like it says, the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. You know, there's always some good that can come out of a bad situation. Swallowing that tough pill comes with its bitterness, but it also comes with its sweetness. You know, it comes with its tough things to accept. But through accepting those tough things, that makes you a better person. That's what it's all about, man. You know, and we only can get that, you know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know what I'm saying? When we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what, hey, such and such activity just may not be profitable for me. You know, when we accept that, you know what Let's go to let's go back to 1 Corinthians, the 6th chapter. It's 1 Corinthians 6. I'm in 1 Chronicles. I'm tripping. 1 Corinthians 6 and 12 again. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I would not be brought into the power of any. So when you brought into the power of any, what can it cause you to do? Cause you to commit more wickedness. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves of mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revelers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. I want to focus on it, says be not deceived. Because oftentimes, man, we think of deception in terms of Esau, Satan, the whims of this society. But you know what? You can be deceived by yourself, man. You could be deceived by yourself by not accepting the reality of your life, not accepting the reality of your lot. Your lot is not going to always come with just honeycombs and damn rainbows, man. Your lot is going to come with some bitter truths as well. And you got to be able to swallow that, accept that, so you're not deceiving your own self. You're deceiving yourself when you know that something's not profitable for you and you keep doing it, man. You're deceiving yourself. You're telling yourself, you're trying to trick yourself into the mindset of I can keep doing this when you know that each time you do, you just can't stop, man. Whatever that may be for a brother. So we all got our own demons that we all dealing with, and we all got certain pitfalls we have, man. Whatever that may be for you, if you know that it's something you just have an addiction towards, something you just can't stop. If you involve yourself in such activity, and you think within yourself, I got the power to change it. You know what? There's power in walking away. There's power in saying, you know what? I can't take this, man. There's power in, accepting who you are as a man. That's very powerful. Like a lot of men can't do that. It's powerful because accepting that is actually what's going to lead you to the path of greatness, which is the ultimate form of greatness is the kingdom. But not accepting it, that's going to lead you down a path of destruction. And I actually know what that's actually a more weaker mindset. To see some truth, to see reality and not want to accept it, but to want to engage in certain forms of activities to escape from that truth that you have within inside or within. So oftentimes we can deceive ourselves, and through that deception of ourselves, that leads us to fornication, idolatry, adultery, effeminate activity, abusing ourselves, man. With mankind, which no one should be doing shit like that, man. Y'all know what that is. No one should be doing shit like that. That can lead us to stealing, being a drunkard, what I'm saying? All kind of things, man. Being covetous, Things of the flesh aren't necessarily bad in itself if it's kept in proper balance and if it's not against the law. But overindulgence in that, especially something that's not profitable for you, that causes you to be taken under the power of it, can cause you to do certain things that are actually against the ways of the Heavenly Father. Things that will prohibit you from getting to the kingdom. And that's part of putting off that old man. Putting off that old man is not just about, repenting, coming to the understanding, saying you're being in the spirit, knowing you're an Israelite. It's not just about that, man. Putting off the old man is even while you're in this truth, recognizing what part of you need to let go. What part of you need to accept so you can let things go. That's also part of putting off the old man, which is tough to do, but it's a very necessary thing to do. So with that, this was, it's a tough pill to swallow, but it may not be, it just may not be profitable for you. So with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh, doing so in the name of His only begotten Son. Lord, what this was edifying, Abba, Bar, Kamel, Shirala, Shalom, and keep the faith.